Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your mid-June 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Okay. So you're going to have a solar eclipse in your sign on June 10th. But it's happening during the middle of a retrograde, so there may be things that, if opportunities present themselves, that you may still feel this sense of like having to still make some kind of decision, and doing a review. I got a little bit distracted because, wow, that top row is very interesting. We have a card in the centerpiece, which is supposed to be the heart of the matter, that is flanked by two cards of deception. So the heart of the matter is the Queen of Cups. This is a woman who is psychic. Now, I think this is connected to Cancer. And certainly a Gemini individual, male or female, can have, inner planets in Cancer. Your moon might even be in a water sign, your rising sign. So even though Gemini is a very intellectual type of an influence, there can also be this intuitive side. And so for some of you, you may kind of just shove it aside. You don't really tell people about it because you might even not value it enough and not realize how lucky you are to have this in your life. So you might downplay it in some way. So let me bring out these two cards here because that's kind of interesting. So the Queen of Cups is somebody who is a nurturer, an artist, a mystic, but it has that, it's a double water energy, so it has a lot of emotion behind her. In the past position, we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, now this is a card that can indicate some kind of deception. For instance, if you're in a relationship, the Queen of Cups could be that you sense something, but you don't know exactly what is going on. And this could suggest, with the Seven of Swords, that somebody is perhaps cheating. And I don't like to say things like that because I don't want to make somebody paranoid or anything. But the point is that it is a card that is associated with something along those lines. Somebody, even like physical theft, which if you think about it, I mean, if you have been allowing a relative to live in your home and all of a sudden things are missing, your first inclination might be, oh no, it wouldn't be such and such person, because you don't want it to be that person, even if they had a drug problem in the past. You might just completely, refuse to think that, but yet there are certain things inside of you that are feeling like, oh wow, what is going on here? You may sense something. And so yeah, it's a very, it can be quite the dilemma to figure out, like, what do I do about this situation? Now, the higher message is the Five of Swords, and this has a similar theme. It can be this idea of, somebody who is speaking lies, and there are people behind that individual. So it might even be like more than one person who is doing this. And the question is, are you really sensing it, or do you refuse to believe it? That one of the things they say about solar eclipses, and I found this to be somewhat true because I had my birthday recently on a solar eclipse. And they say that it can bring up like things that you have not wanted to see, or just these kinds of feelings. Like, it's not always so easy to deal with. And I always thought, oh, this is a very high-powered new moon, so it's going to have like all these wonderful effects and all that stuff. But it, it might be something that is more challenging for you, where you have to accept about yourself a certain truth. And with the Queen of Cups, it might be that you are caring to a fault, but that it hasn't gotten you where you want to be, that it is attracting people to you that are not, savory characters, that they are not people that are trustworthy. And really, it's a very interesting thing because I feel like deception is something that a person can cultivate from others without even, trying to on a conscious level, because they're not willing to face certain truths. Because once you really want to get to the bottom of something, you're not going to go into denial. That's going to be the last thing that you want. So it's really about like kind of tuning into yourself at a deep level and saying, what am I doing here? What crosses you is the Tower card, and this is exactly what I'm saying. It's like the eclipse energy. Actually, one thing about this eclipse energy is that there was an eclipse in Sag in late May, just a couple of weeks ago. And so that might be the aftermath of that, where maybe you did find out something about a partner. That was a lunar eclipse in your 7th house of committed partnership. And so did you stick your head in the sand? The Tower card can be that shake-up, and it's a release. But if the person is so focused on the drama of the shake-up, they might not take advantage of the release. They might be like too focused on what they don't want. And so they kind of stick their head in the sand. The eclipses help to keep us from being stagnant. And that's a good thing because, some of these relationships that could be evidenced by the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Swords, they can be things that are actually detrimental to your happiness. It's interesting too, Gemini, because you're a sword, being an air sign. And, there's that saying, live by the sword, die by the sword. And, basically that saying that, if you choose to allow something into your life, then, and if it's a questionable thing, then you have to accept the consequences. And with swords, sometimes this can be like if you are attracted to people who are intelligent, for instance, which is a good thing. I think that's good that you might be attracted to someone. But if they have shown themselves to be manipulating you with words, then and you choose to believe them, choose to be controlled by whatever it is, how they get inside your head, then you have to accept that is going to be the consequence. And it's not pretty, it's not something that you want to experience. So allowing people to not allowing people to twist what you're saying. That's somebody starts twisting what you're saying, that's a red flag. That's like them trying to always make you out to be the bad guy, blaming you for everything. These are all tactics of narcissists and people like that. So you have to be able to see these things as negatives when they arise. What is coming in is the Page of Wands. This is good news. Start spreading the news. I can't tell you how many times I've used that as a title. I may yet. And this is also, the last 2 cards are fire energies. And it's interesting, we have a couple of those air energies, or yeah, the intellect. And now we have fire energy, which is very enthusiastic. This could be a new endeavor. If you have been someone who maybe has been trusting at work, perhaps that was shattered. Maybe your trust was shattered recently. And that could have been about the eclipse too. You might have had this eclipse in your 6th house of work and found out that coworkers were not what they seemed. You might have been really just focusing on one person that was problematic and not realizing that was a lot more. But the truth shall set you free and allow you to move on to bigger and better things. And the Page of Wands can be an example of that, where you feel like really stoked about a new project, and the outcome is the 8 of Wands. So everything just starts to move again. Maybe there was a lot of stagnation. Now you might be fielding a lot of offers. You might be talking to people. You might be traveling. A lot of things that were kind of backed up. And the backup might have been because you were being held back by people who were misrepresenting themselves. So this is good. There's a lot of truth, authenticity with fire energy. So I like that. I like how this ends for you, Gemini. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private reading with me, Gemini, I do a lot of astrological readings because I find that they are more, they yield more information for me than a tarot reading, but I do private tarot readings as well. You can find out all my different types of readings at the link below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.